let's talk. None of my people gon' walk. 100 bands for us, now she feelin'. Running, I know we out to the mall. Paddock on me and reside. If he come from my chain, then we swap. Shawty can't look in my eyes. BBS's I shine in the dark. I'm on my gentleman-ish. I'm putting up for my city. Don't need friends, my family.
What's poppin', man? Spark the fuck, man. Let's talk about it. Black Ink. You know what we on. You know what's poppin', man. Squad.
What's up? Let's talk about it, Black Ink.
This is Rashad from Earn Your Leisure. Big shout out to Let's Talk About It, Black Ink.
Scary cat. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another episode. Let's Talk About It podcast. A podcast. Look at me. Right? Created to share healthy conversations between men and women, to discuss and uplift and educate our culture and community. I'm your host, Sage. Returning back with us again this week, we got Kevin versus Floyd over here.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
In the Barry White voice. Kevin Floyd.
Hey, baby.
All right. Hey, baby. That's what I was saying.
Kevin.
Yeah. We got
Hey,
Auntie
baby.
Eve.
Hey, baby.
Eve Monroe in the building.
I think I'm still going through puberty.
And better have her name spelt right. And of course, we got Rich Dollars over here.
Hi.
I'll confuse him from Rich Dollars from Love and Hip Hop, but from Black Ink.
No, please don't do that. That man cried on TV.
How about Creep Squad?
I just want you to win, Liv.
I just want you to win. Oh, you. I like Rich though.
He'll never live that down.
seriously. I can't take that dude seriously.
Who Rich? What's wrong with crying? Why y'all be clowning people that men that be
It's just
crying?
the way in which he did it, and then
Yeah, I ain't like him.
it didn't seem organic. It definitely seemed like it was
No,
a
I
show.
think it was organic because one thing for sure and two things for certain. When he get upset, his lips start trembling, and you can't
Quiver.
fake quibbling. You can't even fake that. And then you see his eyes start watering. So he was for real.
I don't know too much.
Just
I don't watch
admit
too
you
much
have some
reality
emotional
TV
men.
Anyway, so,
You have emotional men.
we do.
Yeah.
I don't watch much reality TV, so I can't really
And I
speak
just
too
think
much
his
on it.
crying came from he really wanted to choke her, but he couldn't because he was on TV.
Right.
I think,
He like,
I
if
think
the
as-
cameras wasn't on, I would have swung.
I think as men, we all been there once.
Right.
So
But he's what I call a tender D. You know what I'm saying?
A what?
A tender D.
A tender D?
D. You know what D stands for?
it's going crazy.
We don't gonna say that. We're not gonna say that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it.
Oh,
I'm just
okay,
saying.
You're slow. You
Like
still
the
ain't-
private?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
private.
Oh.
And what that is when, you know,
Wow.
they get overly emotional for every female they deal with. He was running through females on the show, but
Oh.
you crying, you crying over all of them, you sad over all of them, you love all of them, like, you know?
But you have those type of people.
Yeah, they
You
call
have somebody
tender
that-
Ds.
He love all his women.
Oh.
He loves every woman.
Well, he
love-
just loved with passion. That's
he love all his
sensitivity.
women.
Come on, he was in love with that. We was in
love all
love with
his
Olivia, and that was his client.
Yeah, I'm trying to be
But
politically
Olivia was a
correct.
pretty girl.
That was his client,
She still was a pretty girl.
and they wasn't in a relationship, and you crying over her.
Because that was his friend.
That was his client.
Okay.
He was crying, saying, "I just want you to win."
He just wanted her to win.
Yeah, but why would you? If your client ain't listening or you have a problem,
I told
why
you
would
because I
start
really think he
crying?
wanted to swing on it. He couldn't.
That's still overly emotional when it's just between you
Yeah,
and your
when
client.
people want to fight and you can't, you ain't got to resort to nothing but tears.
Yeah, tender.
Yeah, you ever had a
I'm
family
sorry.
member that
I'm
you
old
wanted
school.
to?
Who is this?
Tender love.
I'm not paying.
How
They're not
that
even
song-
going
His
to.
name is Rich Dollars.
How that song
Hey,
go?
Auntie, you
Tender
look
love.
beautiful. Look at this beautiful queen up here on the screen.
Thank you.
Come on.
Like
Come
Selena.
on.
Arizona with 240.
You out there in the land of Zion showing off.
Surely.
Zion got you looking great.
She looking like a young thing.
Yeah,
It's the
yes, he
lighting,
does.
too. You got the lighting right over there.
It's the lighting, he
She
said.
created the ambiance over
She
there.
looking like she ain't no older than
No,
35.
it's still daylight. We're 3 hours behind.
Oh, it's daylight here too.
You're telling your age now.
But
You're not
this-
looking
yeah,
your
but
age, but you're telling your age, Auntie. You'll be acting like me. They not going. Oh,
Mine nor. They
I'm
still
not.
have it spelled
I,
wrong.
Oh wow.
I quit. I quit.
I wasn't going to say anything. Kevin don't know how to bite his tongue. All right, but so before we get into our
Kevin,
topic,
how's the baby?
go
She's
ahead.
good. She's good. Getting bigger every day. Stressing me out. She good.
Yeah, I don't
How's
have
she
any
stressing
sympathy
you out?
right
You just
now.
got
She's too
started.
little.
You still in control.
Because at this point now, she's just fighting her sleep, and I don't know how to combat that.
Because she's adjusting.
I don't know, it's the concept of babies don't know how to go to sleep. You thought your body just automatically shut down by itself. She'll literally sit there and start falling asleep. Then she'll start crying and swinging her little arms like she got an attitude. She falling asleep.
Yeah, she does. That's exactly what it is.
I don't get it.
She's a baby.
Just go to sleep if you're tired.
Nah, they fight. Listen. I learned through my daughter that
They think she thinks she's gonna miss something.
I was just about to say that they don't want to miss nothing, and it's like I don't want to go to sleep. Like y'all, I want to be up. I
think
want
y'all
to be with
being
you.
insensitive that they're in a new dimension. They don't know anything about this room, and they just.
What I'm
observing
saying is she's about to be
everything.
2 months. She's like, I think she's like 6 weeks now. For the first 4 weeks, she slept just fine, no smoke.
Oh, listen.
These
All right,
last
so
2
we're not
weeks,
about to
now
dive
she
into
wanna
this
fight.
conversation because that
get
is a
it.
part of the
I
process.
know. I just said I don't get it.
Wait till she
You know,
start crawling
but we
and
battling through
walking
it.
You said I don't
and
get it.
running, and she
This
won't
is
be
the
able to
fun
sit
part.
down.
Yeah, honey.
No, I'm having fun.
Alright.
I'm
This is the
enjoying
fun part.
I'm enjoying
I'm
every
gonna
Wait till
moment.
warn.
she's
I'm
a
gonna warn
teenager.
you. I'm gonna warn you. Right? There's a point where you can leave them on the bed, and they'll be fine.
I can't do that now. She rolls over.
Be wary. I was about to say, be
Nah,
wary of the
trust me,
roll.
I already know that.
Because one
she
day you
rolls
turn
over.
around and she be almost off the bed. And man, I was like, oh God, if you would have dropped, I'd have been in trouble.
Listen, she rolls over now. I can't. And then she in this phase where she just throw herself back. So I got to make sure I hold her back.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause she'll get attitude and she'll throw her. I mean, all you do is hurt
Oh,
yourself.
she's giving you a
ain't
lot of
hurting me.
personality already.
Oh, she has a lot of
Oh yeah,
personality.
these babies have a lot of.
So yeah, she's definitely crying because she don't want to
Wow.
miss nothing.
And she's her father's daughter. She is stubborn as hell. So she got that honestly from me. So they say every man's first daughter is gonna be just like him. So I'm afraid.
Is that what they say?
Yeah. So I'm afraid.
That's crazy.
Oh wow. Well, before we get into what I want to get into, I was conflicted. Shout out to Naughty Body, low key Nadia. Naughty
shout out
Sharice
to
is not
Sam.
here today. We're gonna send her some uplifting spirits, right?
Yes, yes. My
Right.
poor
Shout
baby.
out to Shane.
And everybody else too. So while I gather my thoughts to see which way I want to go real quick. Rich Mo,
Hi.
we were told to check you today. Okay.
Check me.
Yeah.
Checkmate. Let's go.
From last week, we had a Jamaican who said that is not what the song meant or what it was talking about in totality. So,
We read the lyrics.
Don't look at me.
I don't know.
I don't
We
know.
read the lyrics.
Well,
So
I don't know
whatever
who we
Jamaican.
is. I didn't even go to my phone.
I'm a Jamaican.
Huh?
My Jamaican descent is back.
Ashley,
back,
that
back.
was
I-
Ashley
I am
who called
a
in and said that
DJ.
is not what the song is, and she's
It
Jamaican. And
is.
she went and she said that was part of it. That wasn't all.
No, it was all about. It was really about. No, it was all about that. Oh, you gonna make me listen to the song again? But we.
I mean, from what she said,
we read the lyrics.
She said the song has a part of that, but the whole point of the song is for women to just not fall for any old kind of man, lay down with any old kind of man.
All right, but that's the hook.
And the people that want to force them, she was telling them, head high.
No, he was
He
telling.
was a man.
He's a man. And yes, it's,
No. For the men that forced the women
Oh,
into what
yeah,
he was
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. I knew he was a man. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that was the hook. So the hook plays more than the verses. So the majority of the song was about not going down.
I can't argue with you. I don't know.
We
Yeah, I
read the
don't know.
lyrics
I'm not-
together.
I'm just telling you what was said.
Oh, okay. Tell Ashley to call me.
So I'm gonna
I
no,
missed last
actually
week.
next week hopefully they'll be able to call in. So
Oh, that's dope.
combat, just go ahead, bring a little combativeness, I guess.
Please. Because
So
I like to debate. I don't
so
lose.
I don't want to start with the questions. I have
Oh, let's
pick.
go.
one or the other, and we even today.
The other.
2 masculines up in the room, 2 feminists up in here. Well, actually 3 and 3. Let's go. We want to do joy or pain.
I don't think Evan's a masculinist.
Who?
Sorry, Evan.
He's a man.
Well, I thought you meant. Okay, never mind.
What the heck?
I thought
Evan.
you meant
What
like.
in the-
I thought you were trying to say me and Richmond were like extreme masculinist.
No. I said
say
you have
Evan's
2
more like
females in the room and 2 males, and I said no, actually 3. Kaylin, not,
neutral. Okay, I said Evan's more in the middle. I think I'm sorry.
Yeah, like seriously.
I'm sorry.
You can go there too.
That's my boy. I just think he's more neutral. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So we doing joy or pain? Hurry up, stop.
Pain.
You want to go deep or you want to go happy?
I like pain.
Damn, you crazy. You already told us last week you gravitate towards the negative music. Now
That
you
is
want
true.
pain.
Oh, so you want to go happy?
No, I'm saying I'm letting y'all decide. I.e., which one? Topic. Heavy or happy?
Joy.
Heavy or happy? It'll go deep. And of
Joy,
course, the deepness
happy.
is going to make them, go in. Or you can go neutral. Or
Happy.
you can go happy.
Happy.
Or mix
Can
it
you
up.
hear me?
She said joy.
What'd you say?
My conscious want to say joy, but my subconscious says deep. That's my mind kind of deep.
We even. All right, so I'm a Is it ladies first?
Go ahead, ladies
Can I
first.
use that to my advantage?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Ladies
It's your
first.
world.
All right, and I'm not. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go neutral, since we can't decide. I'm gonna start with neutral, because I was gonna go off a clip that you actually played and start with that, Mr. Floyd.
Go ahead.
But
I think I know what you're talking
no, it
about.
wasn't just you by yourself. But then someone asked me to touch on this as well, so I'm gonna play it. And this is from everybody know Stormy. Shout out to Queen Stormy and Grant Cardone. You familiar with Grant?
Yeah,
You familiar with Grant?
Grant Projects?
I don't know what.
Oh, shit.
Trying to be funny.
No,
Rich
that's
Mo.
serious. Who's Grant?
You don't know who Grant Cardone is?
No.
Oh man.
I know
Not
Grant Projects.
Not
in the
Grant
Bronx.
Projects. Come out of the projects,
My
please.
bad.
Please come
I'm
out of the
I'm
projects.
I'm out. I'm back. Sorry. I ain't been in the project.
So
yet.
this was, let's get into this little debate that people was talking about. Listen.
When I say black, she freaks out. She loses her mind. They don't want
I think it's African American.
no.
Let me say something. You told me
Go at it. Go at it. Go at it. Go at it.
Okay, hey guys, hold on. Let's do a poll. If you are a black person, do you want to be called black or African American?
Put black downstairs. Put BLACK. By the way, that is my
Now I'm going to pause it because I don't want to give you the answer.
Pause.
So Grant, of course, is white, and
Okay.
I rock with Grant Cardone, and Stormy.
he
And I mean,
sounds black.
they business.
He sounds black.
I don't know
sounds
what the thing of
African
sound. He don't
American,
sound black to me.
excuse me.
He's just a real.
sound-
He's
you
a
sound like a
real.
white guy to me.
He's a real genuine person. Meaning though, he said he can relate to the struggles of black people. So that's his connection. But he's loved by everyone.
And
Nice.
Stormy's black.
Stormy is definitely black.
I figure with a name like Stormy.
Really? Anyway, the controversy was with his wife, right, Elaine Cardone. Him and her always argue because she referred to black people as African American, and he refers to black people as black. And he like, stop calling them African American because they want to be called black. And she's like, no, the appropriate terminology is African American.
She's white, too.
So they had an event. Yeah. What? Well, yeah, his wife is white. Yeah. So at an event, she had Stormy, and Stormy like, no, we're black. And she was like, nah. So she went and asked another black people, and they kept saying, I'm black. So they wanted honest people opinion on what did you want to be referred as, black or African American. So I'm curious because look at him. I knew I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not shocked by that. We're rich. I didn't mean that. Sorry, y'all. I'm interested to hear the feedback on this.
What you think this means?
Black power.
Yes.
What I think it means. That's what it means. Everybody, every race know that.
African American is still black power, but I just wanted you to know I meant black.
So you were referred to be
Hell
referred
yeah.
to as black opposed
Yeah.
to African American.
Yes.
What about you?
Black.
Why?
Because I ain't from Africa and my descendants ain't either. Number one. Number two, I think
You know that for sure?
wholeheartedly. Well,
But you Jamaican
Listen,
and root, so
either
that would confuse me all the way.
Either way, I didn't have a choice but to be an American, but I would not identify as one if I had a choice.
What, American?
Yeah.
Okay, so not boy. Wrong terminology.
That's cool. African American to me it doesn't represent me at all, because at the end of the day, you know, if we go back to the days, I've been talking about this a lot lately. If we go back to the days of when we had rich people in America, like the Tulsa and the Black Wall Street and everything, they didn't even want to be a part of America. You know what I'm saying? The black people.
Are you talking about the well, of course, because there was slavery involved. That's
yeah,
it.
but they wasn't where slavery was. They was away from it, and they had their own.
No, that's because Black Wall Street came after slavery ended. Though.
Right, but they had their own cities and everything. But what I'm saying is, they could have gotten their own state, with how much power they had, but they didn't want to. They didn't want acceptance from this country. They didn't even want to be a part of it. They just had their own cities. They did their own thing. They had their own banks. They had their own everything. That's why they separated themselves. But what I'm saying is,
it wasn't giving them their own state at that time.
No, what I'm saying is, but they had enough power, I think, in that state that they was in, to fight for that. But they didn't even try. Yeah. The point that I'm making is they didn't try.
Well, because they were coming out of a different era, so you got to pick your poison at that time.
Yeah, and I think they picked the right one.
Okay, so before I tie into the reason why I really asked this question based off of some of the comments, and some people gave really great responses, but then some was confusing to me as well, and pertaining to what you just said, right? You identify as what?
Black.
Preferably opposed to African American, or even as roots heavy in Jamaica, right?
Right.
So that part.
Why am I not a Jamaican American?
Wait. No, I agree. They said that too, right? Or I'm not European American, or anything in reference to that. I get that, but I want to know why you can relate to black opposed to your Jamaican roots or your African roots, because it's still descended from Africa. Jamaicans especially claim that. So I'm a little confused.
I mean, I feel like Africans don't claim us. They don't feel like we're African. And they don't like us. Number one. Number two, that's not my culture. You understand what I'm saying?
That.
Huh?
But you just said you don't want to be called American, but you'll take black. American is
I'll
your
take
vote.
Black because black doesn't make me American. Black doesn't make me.
Or put you in a category by itself.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh.
And
I think the opposite. I think the opposite.
But I understand that
put
better.
You in a category by yourself?
I think black does make you American. I think for me, like, I'm not gonna be appalled if you call me African American.
Right, me either.
I'm well aware.
Or if you call me black
I'm well
melanated or color.
Quick question. I'm sorry, because I like what you just said. So would you mind being referred to? I can't. I don't even know if I was cutting off.
No, you good. You good.
Would you mind being called a Black American?
Yes.
Yeah, because that don't make sense.
How does that not make sense?
I can tell you why though.
A Black American? You'd be like, hey, this is a Black American.
I'm gonna say
yes, it's just like African American.
No, it doesn't.
Listen, Black American.
Because black is referring to you. Because they're just like, you don't call somebody like, oh, that's a white Caucasian. Duh. That's a white European.
Whoa,
that don't make sense.
But you say Caucasian American.
You can refer to that, just like
so
most
why
people,
you can't say Black American?
No, because our descent is African descent, but everybody has African descent of people of color. When I'm saying you have people that are African and say I'm first generation African, I'm first generation you're not British. What's that country they come from? Canadian. I'm first generation here. That's the way they speak.
Well, let me ask you a question. You don't say Puerto Rican American. You say Hispanic. They say Black non-Hispanic. No,
you talk about paperwork. I'm talking about how we reference the people.
But that's where it comes from. That's where these terms come from.
On the news, if they say something, they don't say the male was black. They usually say African American. So with Grant, when he said his whole page, if you go to his page, he said, let's talk about it. He used our phrase. That's why we're talking about it. He said, let's talk about it. White people, let's have this conversation with black people, because he referred to people as black. I'm going to refer to them what they're comfortable with being referred to. My wife says African American because she refused to believe that's the term that's supposed to be used. So a lot of people is offended. I'm not offended by none of them, so I'm trying to figure out why are you offended if someone says African
Because
American opposed to
the
black?
reason why I think they would be offended because it just dawned on me when you use the news now. I'm seeing it differently. The news doesn't say a white American or a white man did this. They would say a Caucasian.
Right.
So why would you say a black man?
Caucasian male or female.
Yeah, Caucasian male or female. So, but then that comes to my point is
they don't say black at all. They say African
they don't say
American.
black, and then they don't say like you Caucasian is not Caucasian American. So why would you say African American? Why would America be involved in my description if it's not involved in nobody else's?
So my thought process on that was when I initially heard it, and was because of the era of what they were coming out from the natives here and the Africans that they brought over in slavery and mixed. I thought it would been because our names switched. They were colored and they went through quite a few names. I thought it would have been to give them the respect of acknowledging their identity of being African descent because they came. So I thought it was reestablishing respect opposed to the nigger word.
I don't think it's about establishing respect.
Okay.
I don't think, like I said, for me, I wouldn't be upset if you called me either or.
Me either.
I think, but for me, I would prefer to be called black. I think African American, though I know my roots come from Africa, and trust me, I wish I was directly from Africa. I'd be proud. But
Right.
My thing is, I think to call us African America in a way still to differentiate us from America itself.
Wait, say that again?
I think when they call us African American,
Yeah, you're not just an American.
Just their way of differentiating us from America.
Somebody else said that in the comments. They said with that term was go back to Africa.
We're black. I'm American. My people were pillaged, raped. They helped build this country so that not by choice, but we're American. They say African American on television to let you know that this is not American. This is only Africans up who live in America. That's how I think about it. They don't say
African
Let me get on
American.
Eve.
They don't say Irish American.
What's your take on it? Because like Eve is,
Huh?
older than all of us, so she knows history
Damn, way
a
to
little
throw her
bit.
out there.
No. Listen,
Way to
Score.
throw her out there.
Not that. Listen, Auntie Eve is proud to be who she is. Tell them, Auntie, we ain't got nothing on you. The youth ain't got nothing on you. I'm trying to mimic. What's your take on that?
You're so silly. So my take is I'd rather be called either African descent or African American. Black to me is a color. And for me, I'm just, we're mixed at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the origin of all life is African. So I'd rather be African American.
Okay. So
yeah, but that makes all people Caucasian as well, African Americans.
But can I say this real quick?
Right.
Because I actually agree with her on the black as a color thing. Because at first I wasn't initially okay with being called black. Because I understand it's a color, and they use that word to try to, as a derogatory term for us. But at the same time, when I thought about the actual color black and what it means and its essence as a whole, I was proud. I'm like, no, if I could be any color, I want to be black. There's nothing stronger, nothing better. I want to be black. So that's when I became like totally okay with being called black. But I
guess I'm so extra. I feel like you too in terms of the word black. But because I know all the colors of the rainbow has significant meaning, I'm like, I want to be all.
No, but listen, here's the crazy part.
Extra.
Here will be my kind of argument for that. Every last one of them do have beautiful and significant meanings. But if you mix every color together,
that's
it makes
true.
black.
We know that.
Black is the starter and the ender of all.
But let me get
the
majority out of like 3,000 comments. The majority. I mean, it was a nice amount that was like black, 100% black, 100% African American. And what I understand, nobody gave a great example in response to what you just said, as in black puts you in a category by itself. I wanted to make sure I was clear on that. Is that true?
Because at the end of the day, that's where we got our power. When we start saying black power, like, that's powerful.
But, okay, so here's where I'm still a little bit confused, right? Because they never referenced to you as black. So how is that where you get the power? Because they didn't say, go ahead, what's your black at? Usually we say that. But it was colored or nigger or what was the other words we went through? They never called us melanated beings or black. So this is where I'm trying to understand.
So guess who gave us that name?
We did?
Exactly.
Okay, so you identify.
Because at
so
that
that's
point-
what I said.
at
It's
that point-
separating identity for ourselves.
Right.
Okay,
That's the one word that we gave ourselves.
okay.
We
I can accept
these other things are labels. You African American, like he said, that separates you from other Americans. There's no Caucasian Americans. There's no this American. You either Caucasian or you Black American, non-Hispanic. You understand what I'm saying? Like all of these labels.
Like they do it's like a systematic program. Even when it comes down to a job application,
so-
you don't have where it don't says German American. It doesn't say Irish American. It just says Caucasian, Black, or non-Hispanic, or Asian American.
You want to know how deep
Okay,
it
so
gets?
we
Hold
got-
on. You want to know how deep it gets? My friend was in jail and I was looking him up. Right? He's Puerto Rican. Looking him up. Do you know what Puerto Ricans are classified as in jail?
Black.
What?
Caucasians.
Oh, you
They're
didn't know
white.
that? You didn't know that?
No,
Not even in jail. That's period.
but
We just
that's a
spoke about
problem.
that with Middle Easterns and
that.
But
making
we're
them
not reaping the
classify as
benefits. I
Middle
don't know where
Eastern
they get
opposed
that
to being African if they pass for that, lighter.
Yeah, but all
complexion.
Hispanics in jail is considered Caucasian.
Well, probably just the lighter ones.
No,
Probably not the
You are
Dominican
Hispanic.
ones. I doubt it.
If you,
I doubt if they
doubt
got a
it.
Dominican that look like you when they're going for Caucasian.
my boy
I
is
doubt
brown.
it.
I'm trying to tell. He's not Dominican. He's mixed, but he's Puerto Rican and something else. I
He's
guess.
dark as you?
No, he's not dark.
Exactly.
But they're not looking at your face when they classify you.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. They classify you by what you identify as. Are you Puerto Rican? You're Caucasian. You Dominican? You Caucasian. If you Spanish, Hispanic, you Caucasian.
No, I think you probably got that a little confused.
I've never been to jail,
find
so
that
I
hard
can't
to believe.
argue.
No, but I'm saying even outside of jail, I know people that can pass for the super
Right,
lighter
but he's talking
complexion.
about
They may
jail,
pass
though.
them
I'm
off
talking
as
about
Caucasian.
the classification part.
But the darker
where they're
ones,
not
that's
looking
why
at
they
you.
are
That's the
Dominican
case.
and have those different classes because they can't pass.
Right.
Because Spanish, that color goes from super light to super
Yeah.
dark as well.
But like I said,
those
this is.
stats would be.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I find that hard to. I
What
find
you
that
said?
hard to believe because those statistics would be off.
Right.
Hey,
really
when I
hard to
looked him
believe.
up,
Now I know that they,
all
I'm
the
not saying it's
all
not
the
impossible.
Rodriguez's, all the Lopez's.
Listen, I'm not saying
Caucasian.
that that's impossible because I know of Africans that look like the one we met that looks like they more so in the Pakistani or Arab side. They make
Right.
he said they make them over here they classify them as Middle Eastern opposed to African because they just made them classify like that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's deep.
But I believe so. It's
That's
gonna be-
just to me. It's just all labels, and like I said, black is ours. You understand
But
what I'm saying?
somebody in response said that we're all descendants from Africa. We are 100% African. Calling us African American has a different connotation. We don't call white Americans or English Americans or Irish Americans or German Americans in regard to their ancestry. So they don't think we should use that terminology at all.
Facts.
That's what I just
They-
said.
Then somebody else said,
they
especially since there's
Anglo-Saxons.
a
We don't
lot
call
of
them that.
black natives, just because, this is their argument, just because that we're from Africa doesn't mean that all black people are from Africa. So we shouldn't be classified as African Americans.
That-
They
that-
feel like they should be classified as
Did you,
black.
now, did you also know that in them times in Tulsa, right?
Somebody
back
else
then-
said all colors are amazing, so why can't we just be a melting pot?
We're about to be.
I love that.
We're about to be. It's going soon as it's going to be a mix.
Tell them to spread out all the,
But-
the money and everything. And we can
You
talk
know,
about it.
back in those days when they had the rich black people with the Black Wall Street, a lot of those was Indians. So I feel like, people fail to realize that even when they said the Indians was here 1st, those was black people too. Those wasn't just Indians. It was black and Indians.
Well,
I
here's
don't
the
think
thing.
we all came over on no boat. I'm
No,
sorry.
everybody didn't. Everybody know that's the history of America. There were all cultures here. There was Mexicans here too.
Right.
There was all
The
colors
Aztecs.
here.
There was
that
black people
was
here
already
already.
here on
Yes,
the land.
right.
Well, yeah, blacks in terms of skin complexion, not as in directly from Africa though.
No, yeah, no, I don't. That's why I'm saying I don't think we all directly from Africa. I feel like a lot of these black people that's here that were enslaved were already here. The majority, because you cannot bring that many black people across that big trip on that boat and feed them and not expect them to die from disease and all that. That story doesn't even make sense.
No, it makes sense. Because a lot of them didn't, but that's why they started the inbreeding here on this land, because they were losing life, and a lot of people were throwing themselves over the ship. So
and they couldn't afford to feed. That's a lot. That's a lot of feeding.
They could afford. It was financed.
No, what I'm saying is that's a long trip.
It's a long trip.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's a lot of people, you know, for the lack of better words, but defecating on each other in a small that most of them had to die.
Probably.
So my thing is like when they came here and that little Thanksgiving thing they talk about, a lot of that I don't think that was just it. Yeah, Thanksgiving. You know how Thanksgiving, the story of Thanksgiving is them coming here.
No.
What you think the story is?
That wasn't true. Let that go. We're gonna let that go.
No, what I'm saying. I know it didn't exactly happen like that, but they did rob this land from people that was already here. Is what I'm saying. That's what I classify Thanksgiving as. I'm not talking about the actual story.
But that's not the real history of Thanksgiving. But that is what we were told. But no,
right.
So I get that. I want somebody to make sense of this because Joseph said he's white, but he said no African American were born in African or have dual African citizenship. So I'm not a Polish American or a white Caucasian American, so I don't think the term African American should fit.
I agree with him. I'm not here from Africa.
But he doesn't agree
if I'm going to be
black being called black either. Oh. So, in terms to most of the Caucasian, I could say that answer felt like American would be better because we are Americans. This is the land that
that's what I agree.
That would suffice for me. I'm okay with that.
A straight American.
So just the straight American is what our identity.
They would never call us that, but I'm okay. That's what will be preferred. That's what we are. Like I said.
Well, no, because they give you an option now, and I think on that sheet of paper, isn't the option that you check the box?
I've never seen an
option. You said option for what?
Isn't it an option on the box? I even on certain things they ask you if you're non-Hispanic. I always see it Hispanic.
Yeah. Other. If you're non-Hispanic, yes, but
they don't ask you if you're African American or black.
They say African American.
It says black non-Hispanic.
It has black on that paper.
Some of them say black. Some of them say African American.
It says African American there too.
Exactly.
So I think they acknowledge both.
They will never just call us American because to call us American would be to accept us completely, and they don't.
And they will never accept us as equals as far as this government goes.
That's why they will call us everything but American. They will call us Jamaican. They'll call us African American. They'll call us black.
Like at the end of the day,
they will never just call us American.
Like at the end of the day, back in them times, they had whites only sinks or whatever, stuff like that. Whites only, signs like that. Mm-hmm. So what's the opposite? That's why I said you black. That's just what it is. But we Americans.
The sign the sign said white or colored. It didn't say black.
No, it said whites only is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
So they chose they had a color for themselves, but they were still.
No, that is true.
They're still Americans
though. That is true.
So what I'm saying is yes, I would love just call me American. I'm not African American because like he said, I don't have dual citizenship. I wasn't born in Africa and came here. You understand what I'm saying?
Parents aren't directly from Africa. I'm the firstborn
none
African
of that.
American.
I would be a Jamaican American because my father was born in Jamaica.
Right.
My mother's family is descendant of the South.
I was a little bit confused in your response only because I know most Jamaicans that I know proudly represent their origin coming from Africa. Mm-hmm. So for you to say I ain't African, it was like, oh, really?
Well, most Jamaicans I know feel like they come from like London and around them areas. What happened? I don't know. He looked at me like I'm crazy.
I've never met a Jamaican.
No, like that's where it came. I'm just saying.
I even know all the Jamaicans, okay?
I was gonna say I've never met a Jamaican that rep anything.
Wait, what you say, Aib?
That's what I'm saying. But I know.
Hold on, wait. What did you say, Aib?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with that because I was married to a Jamaican. I've never met a Jamaican that said they was from London.
Never.
No, I'm not saying that from London. I'm saying like that's like descendants basically.
They know that the Queen Elizabeth might rule their country, but they ain't happy about it. And
that's what I'm.
That's what I'm saying. But they know their origin is from Africa.
I've never heard nobody say that though.
I got a lot of Jamaican
whole family
homies.
Jamaican. I've never heard nobody say that the Jamaicans are from Africa.
Yeah, I've never.
No,
heard
Jamaica. If you have a one-on-one conversation with Jamaicans, they will rep. That's why they will rep by Marley and Zion and all
That's
of that
all
other stuff.
Jamaican.
They will rep. No, that stems from the tribe of Judah over in African and biblical
Right,
stuff.
but that's
They ain't
just
got nothing
them.
to do-
That's them believing in what you believe in as us all coming from Africa. Bob Marley sings. He sings about people, kings and shit from Africa, because they believe
No,
that we
because
all.
you got to realize Marcus Garvey was Jamaican, and his quest and his activism was, didn't he have the ships and stuff going back to Africa? Why are the bred slaves here trying to stay here in this country when we can actually go back? That was his whole movement, and he was Jamaican.
Understood. I'm saying a lot of people. There's people that still feel that way here. That we are descendants from there.
Even the Africans that live in London don't claim London as their home. They know their origin is African.
And I gotta say that because even a lot. Well, no, I'm about to say. Okay, so I'm about to classify us all as black. I'm about to say even Gabby felt that way, but she's Ethiopian, and they from London, but they always represent back to Ethiopia, which is still in Africa, right?
She's from Germany.
Ethiopia is definitely.
She's from She's from Africa. She moved from Africa to the Middle East when she got to Germany when she was like 11. So she's still from Germany, but she's from Ethiopia.
Which is Africa.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what you would call
science
her.
says we all come from Africa, so
Science says we are human beings.
Huh?
Or are we?
I don't know. Not if you took the vaccine.
Not if you took the vaccine.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
You know what they say about that.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Allegedly, if you took the vaccine, they'll start that you're not 100% human anymore. It's either transhuman or metahuman. I forgot what the word is.
What?
But you look it up. Transhuman. You're no longer 100% human.
What the heck is a transhuman?
A person who took the vaccine.
What's a transhuman? Like, what are their abilities? What do you mean?
A person who took the vaccine. Look
You
it
heard
up.
of that? You heard of that?
Hell
You
no,
laughing?
that gives you some more power.
Is that any truth?
Hey, Google it. Google
Kayla,
it.
Evan, did y'all hear that?
Fact.
No, he said Google it.
I'm gonna Google it.
Google
for
it.
you.
I ain't never hear that
What was
one.
your other question?
I never heard that.
I got you.
Rich made me lose my train of thought on that one.
I
Because
got
I ain't hear that about the vaccine.
You was talking about we all humans.
Yeah. But so I was going to tie into though, why is it that he acting like Evan now because Evan said let me go to Google.
I'm about to.
If we all supposed to come from an Adam and Eve DNA, why is there multiple DNAs on the earth? Anybody know that?
Say that again.
Why is it multiple DNAs on earth? If they claim that every human being come from one single woman and man.
I don't think they got it wrong. I don't think Adam and Eve was the only people. I think they might have been the first people, but I don't think they were the only people.
Well, because their DNA was different, number one. And number two, every time you make a new human, the new DNA is different. No one has the same DNA. So at the end of the day, you get some from one and some from the other.
No, but it's not like that when you test the DNA. They'll say that it is Homo sapien. What's another one? It's like 4.
Homo erectus.
Yeah.
Wait.
Homo
Wait. Y'all talking about I'm bugging. There's 4 different types of humans?
Wait.
No, well, so
Species.
4 different DNAs.
the Homo genus.
Homo sapien is another
what
one.
humans
That's human.
are.
Wait. Homo
But
sapien.
Homo erectus
Right.
and Homo neanderthalensis.
Neanderthal-
so the
right.
Neanderthals are.
Oh, so right now we all one type.
Yes.
No. You also,
He said yes. Y'all say
You
no.
also have DNA from one of the others,
Right.
But you are a Homo sapien.
Yeah, we are.
We
Homo
all are.
sapien.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody on Earth right now is one.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's from the interchanging of the. But my point that I was making is, if we came from one man and woman, how did we get the Neanderthal or in all those other things he named? Talk about all those other things.
Well,
he
like for
named.
me, I would say, like I said, I don't think that. I think they got the story wrong. I don't think Adam and Eve might have been the first man and woman, but I don't think they were only when it came time for creating the human population, one. And two, we also have to take into account that DNA also changes based off climate, things you eat, things that you are around. So back in that time,
You think?
it does.
I don't know.
You
You heard that? Because I'm saying
It changes.
I'm trying to figure that out, because if that's the case, then when they say we were taken from all the way in Africa, our DNA roots still show up in our DNA test.
But it's
strong.
Listen, it does, but it still changes. It may not change 100% complete, but it changed to where it possibly could be called something else. Like they say, if you ate an orange for like a year straight, your skin will turn the color orange. Your DNA changes depending on what you consume, whether it be eternally, externally. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Like the first Asiatic man was a black man. But because Asia is normally cold, his pigmentation, he got lighter in skin, all them things changes. Buddha was black. Buddha means the black one, the black face.
Is that from Google, or is that a fact from going?
Back from my study and my research. Like I said, your things change, your DNA can change. So I mean that could play a part. I'm not saying that it does, but I'm saying that's a possibility. I don't think no one knows the true answer, because none of them back in that time. We only can speculate, but that's just my speculation.
Look, he over there Google heavy. He's Google him. I even hear down Google heavy. He's serious about Googling this.
I am.
Anybody else heard that?
Because it says
I never heard nothing about the vaccine other than it ain't good for you. So
well, I don't know. I always wondered that, like, why is it all these multiple DNAs? But it doesn't give. So if the DNA change, I'm thinking it would be more than what you can research. Because only ones I heard of is the ones that Evan named. So it would have to change more frequent than that. Is every time a race mixed with another race, there's a new DNA. That's not noted.
Well, I mean, just based off science, I would think that if there were 4 original DNAs, I think they were similar. They were similar more than they were different. So I think there might have been a few different things or different attributes that made them different, but I think overall they were generally the same. So which is why we'll be able to procreate with them, and then the DNA becomes one, so to speak.
Let me ask you a question, Evan, based off of what you just said, because we are one now, which is Homo sapien. What made us all Homo sapien prior? What separated us prior to becoming Homo sapien?
So,
because the Neanderthal, what's the difference in the origin of those?
So Neanderthal is our closest
relative.
Yeah, that's what people think is the caveman.
Exactly.
And so basically, what they had bigger rib cages, bigger chests, longer arms, shorter heads, but their brains were bigger. They had.
Well, you sound like you still describing
like
some.
Have a knot like on the back of where
that's what made them look hunchback.
Google. Sorry.
Wait, hold on. We gonna get
no,
you.
No, this is about that. This is about what y'all talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, we wasn't finished saying it though. I was trying to understand.
You're good.
Go ahead, bro.
Damn, you got it. I really wanted to know.
Go ahead.
But I'm saying, do you know why the Neanderthals is like that? Like, as far as the longer arm, bigger rib cages, the whole 9 yards. Like I said, it's all.
Well, isn't that DNA. The story? I thought they sold that we came from cave people or monkeys or something.
Right, but I'm saying the reason why they say Neanderthals were built like that, all that is DNA wise, because the way they lived, they needed bigger rib cages. They needed longer arms, bigger hands, bigger feet, bigger brains. They had to be more creative on how to survive in this world. DNA changes and conforms.
Say it again.
Certain attributes survived. That's Darwinism, survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
So I Googled while y'all was talking, and it says during a time of dramatic climate change 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens evolved in Africa. Like other early humans that were living at this time, they gathered and hunted food and evolved behaviors that helped them respond to the challenges of survival in unstable environments. So it was what you said. It was the climate change, and our bodies basically evolved.
This is how.
To
not to cut you off,
it.
but this is how crazy DNA works and how amazing it is. I think the proper animal is a seahorse. A male seahorse.
Yep.
If there are no female seahorses around, a male seahorse.
Oh no, that's clownfish.
I thought no, it's a seahorse too.
Male seahorses carry the babies.
No, okay, sorry, it's a clown. The clown seahorse.
Yes, clownfish.
Yeah, that's what you're right. I'm getting confused. The clownfish, the male one, will change into a woman to mate with another man just to preserve the species.
Wait. You got to start over because I'm lost now.
So a clownfish. I said male because male seals do carry the babies. That's why I got confused at.
Wait, a male species?
Seahorse.
Oh,
but here's where it gets deeper with DNA. A clownfish. Remember Finding Nemo?
I know clownfish.
Exactly. Clownfish. A male clownfish, if there are no women around, will change into a woman solely to mate with a fellow man to preserve his species.
I think that's what we call gens.
DNA.
We got gen animals now.
DNA changes based on survival.
We got you.
If you strap somewhere for a long enough time, your DNA will start to conform
they
and you'll
said
be able to
that
do things you never thought possible based off your body's instincts to survive.
So then, if that's the case, then because I know there's a few animals that they actually said doesn't need the opposite
starfish
sex to actually bear children, but then you have some spiritual sexual groups that said you have some women that can procreate without a man species at all. That is within their DNA, and I never heard of that before. And they say it's true.
I can't argue with it.
I don't know, but you're saying that's how powerful DNA is.
But that's for
we can't call them
I'm
crazy.
saying, but that's for animals. I don't think we can do that.
We are animals.
True, but I don't think
we're the
us,
highest of intelligence.
I don't think we're particularly can do what a clownfish does. But
that's probably
I'm just giving an example.
That's probably where hermaphrodites come from.
But
I said probably.
No,
like it could be
it goes down
a way
to
of trying to evolve.
If you're a hermaphrodite, do your DNA side a little bit more with the male or female because you have some who are not born with ovaries, so they can't technically carry your baby.
They don't have ovaries.
No.
Some aren't.
They only get one or the other.
Exactly.
Like one of the genitals work, and the other one don't.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is that could
They
be the
just
body.
have both.
That could be the body trying to create both.
I want to be a man.
Yeah, they can have both.
My heart just
and
weakened
generally,
for them.
I don't know, but from what I've read and studied, generally people decide to go with whatever they have more.
Do they live a long like regular life?
Some do. Like they
Anybody
like
know that?
some
They
people
do.
like some
They do.
from birth
But
their parents would pick
lot
for them
you don't
based
know.
off,
Right.
You said
And
they
it's
do?
not until they become like teenagers where their hormones will
Kick in.
really display the dominant
the
one.
dominant gene. Yeah, so the parents will kind of choose for them
Yeah.
based off what do you want? Do you want a girl or boy? Or they'll ask the doctor, what do they show more signs of? Do they have higher levels of testosterone than estrogen? Do they have ovaries
Yeah.
or not? Things of that nature.
So how can you compare, and I heard what you said about the clownfish, but you got my brain running. How can you compare the clownfish? It was a clownfish you said, right?
Clownfish.
DNA to our DNA.
No, what I'm speaking is I'm giving an example of how DNA
Because
works.
we ain't fishing from the fish family.
What I'm speaking is how DNA works. Your body, whether you want to say God created, wherever you want to say created it, was built to survive.
Right.
And DNA conforms based on the
you're saying.
extremeness of the environment. So it's a theory stating that if we lived underwater long enough, we would grow gills to survive.
So freaking mermaids are true?
It's a possibility. Your body adapts, which is why the Neanderthals had the things
That's
they
powerful
had.
there, though.
And your body adapts. Just like it comes down to the simple scientific fact of a man and woman. Men naturally have bigger lungs, longer lung capacity, able to breathe better, run faster, bigger muscle.
Oh,
I'm
come
saying,
on
but no,
with
listen.
bigger. Did he just
but what
go
I'm saying
in?
is, I'm saying is because back in the day, men were the hunters, so they needed these things to chase the wild boar, to chase the wild animals, to fight and defend. This is why they need it. Women have a greater pain tolerance because they bear the children. We did not. It's just certain things DNA allowed for the survival of the body. It's certain that a woman can do that a man cannot.
Well,
I have yet to meet a man who have stronger thighs than a woman. Women's legs are powerful, and I feel like they have to be because that's where the children come through.
It sound, I'm with you. It sounds so sexist.
I wasn't trying to say sexist, but I'm being real. I'm not trying to sound sexist, but I'm just being real. I've never met a. I'm sorry.
I agree. No, I agree with Kevin. I'm laughing at his analogy.
But it's the truth. Like DNA is that powerful.
I have enough trouble being a woman. I'm not trying to do his role and mine.
Right. I'm just saying
good
it's
with
just
mine.
certain things. Like I said, it's the reason why. It's just certain things that DNA contemplate. Why? It's DNA is the thing that I guess you can say make us the same but yet different based off what we are needed to do.
Wow.
Like I said, I know for a fact women have a higher pain tolerance than men. They have to have it because they
I'm gonna
bear
agree.
children.
They definitely take tattoos better than men.
They bear children.
I'm
they have
going
to
to
be able
just
deal with that
agree,
pain.
period. Just like I think men are more emotional than women all day long because the stuff that we take and endure, y'all don't take, endure, or forgive for. Not as much as we do.
My counter argument to be with that, I don't think men are more emotional. I think men are more emotionally weak. I don't think they're more emotional. I think women experience more emotion, which is why they're emotionally stronger because they constantly go through it. I think men are just emotionally more weak.
I can give you that.
That's what I would say. Women will get heartbroken, love again, heartbroken, love again, heartbroken, love again. You break a man's heart when he's 12, it's hate one for the rest of his damn life.
That's so. Well, no, you got some bitter women like that.
You do, but I'm just saying though. Overall, men are emotionally more weak because we don't experience it to the same level.
No.
No.
I don't think we're more emotional.
He said he didn't say more emotional. He said more emotionally weak.
I think we don't fall in love. We don't fall in love as much as women do.
I don't feel like we deal with emotions the same way.
We don't.
I feel like y'all be in your emotions so much that you deal with it better.
Well, I think that we only deal with emotions according to how he just explained DNA. What they say we had to put up with based off of the conditions we were in. So we had to yeah.
I just feel like not trying to be funny, but like women seem to fall in love with every man that gives them attention. Men don't. When we finally do fall in love with that one chick, she break our heart.
I don't think that at all. And if you truly believe that, then you contradict the whole message that was on your page earlier based off of what the female was saying, and I can't recall her name. I don't think so. Sometimes you have women that's just obsessed with the illusion of being taken care of and getting what they want. So in her reference to saying, if he's cheating, but you can't tell that he was unhappy with you. It's not that she didn't know that he was unhappy with her. She didn't care. As long as it's benefiting her, she's going to do what she wants to do.
Yeah,
that's the point that the woman is overlooking. I agreed with the very last thing that she said in that conversation. She was spot on. Everything else, she was doing what you said you thought Steve Harvey be doing.
I don't
kissing
think so.
up.
I don't think so.
Yes,
I forgot her name, but she's been like a relationship coach for women for like 30-something years. She's been getting a long time to get her name done.
That doesn't mean anything. It's the way that she's looking at the situation. There's no way you can come out of your mouth and say, oh, how you can tell if he's cheating on you, you in touch with that emotion, but you're not in touch with the fact that he's unhappy with you. That makes no sense. Of course she knows he's unhappy. She doesn't care. Right. Some women don't care to fix it. It's like, you going to do this, and that's what I want.
And that makes it better?
No, I'm not saying it makes it better. What I'm saying is, if you're going to speak on it as from a level of teaching, then speak correctly.
I think she did, because what she said was she felt that those too many women are self-absorbed. I think she was speaking on the level of teaching.
Self-absorbed.
So self-absorbed that's only about you. You don't care about your man's happiness. So you're not noticing, because some are truly oblivious to it, or you don't care.
No, I don't think it's to that extent. I think it's what I watched earlier. Chris Rock made a beautiful statement where he said, and it was about relationships, and I want to quote it correctly, where he said that most men will cheat simply because they're looking for something new, or they want something new. She ain't got to be doing nothing wrong. Half of the time, they just want something new and a new experience. He said, and the irony pretty much in that is, once you cheat, that old woman you got is going to give you something new. You ain't going to never get her back the way that you had her. And it made so much sense.
I agree with it. I don't disagree.
Sometimes everything in your relationship can be perfect, but you chasing something new and go mess up everything that you had, and you never get back what you once had.
I don't think all men subscribe to that, but I do agree with that.
No, I'm only saying this is what he said.
Yeah, I agree with it.
Yeah, I'm quoting what Chris Rock said, but I'm just speaking from that point of view. You have some horrible men out here, but you have some horrible women out here as well that don't appreciate a good man when they have them, and vice versa. So I would just sum that up to people in general.
But I kind of agree with what you were saying, as far as I feel like a lot of times men cheat, like you said, when things are good, because just because there's nothing wrong don't mean it's good. Things get boring. That's when you start to look for something new. When your woman thinks that she can just do the bare minimum, or just
I don't think that you can only make that statement if you told her, let's spice something up. If you didn't communicate that, you can't assume she knows what you want. You might not communicate that.
But the point I'm saying is you might not communicate that. You might not know that you want that.
No, a lot of people, let me just be honest, and I got this from men. A lot of times they say we want to cheat with somebody we know we can treat dirty, and I don't really want to treat my girl might not agree with that. I'm just saying,
I can't agree
that's
with
what they said.
I think that's a cop out. I
It
can't
could
agree
be.
with that.
I don't
It's
know.
a cop out.
Because men come up with all kind of excuses. when they cheat.
I
Exactly.
think
Because women
I
to
think
say,
it's a
I
cop
did
out,
it
but I can
because-
see a man saying that.
I know a
definitely
lot
can
of dudes who
see a
say
man
that.
I'm telling
but
you,
it's
a lot of
I know a
say
lot of
that.
dudes, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
a cop out. That's not real.
It's not real.
What's not what it is you know, maybe you can't talk to, I don't know what it is, but a lot of times when things are just good at home the way it is, you want to go out, like you said, to get something different. The problem with that is you can get something different with her. Like
I think
you
if
said,
you communicate
if you
that,
do, right.
you actually can. Because
Yeah.
a lot of time, I think men are under the assumption that women don't feel the same way. Just because we don't verbalize it and speak on it doesn't mean that we didn't see something that catch our eye.
But what I think it is though, which I love.
Sometimes
But
I think we just weigh the risk.
I love how we
family.
segued into this when we were talking about. But what I think it is I think just from my personal experience, from what I've seen, what I've heard, I think a lot of time it is the woman who gets comfortable first.
What you mean?
And as far as a relationship, I believe so, and that's why I think a man may feel as though, well, shoot,
What do
she
you
may
mean
be
by
o-
comfortable?
She may be
though?
okay
What
with
do you mean
just.
by comfortable?
I mean, just comfortable.
You gotta
like,
explain comfortable.
Comfortable in the sense of just what men can put about, letting themselves go, stop spicing it up, stop being the same sexy soul trish you was when I met you. Just whatever that man likes that pertains to you achieving him, I guess, or getting him. I don't know.
Just being his woman,
Just
and his
being
wife
his woman.
now. That's it.
I met a lot of men I met a lot of men who've been married 30 years, married 25 years, whatever. And I always ask them, like, what's the secret? And they used to always just say, hey, man, just keep my head down, go to work, come home. I'm like, damn, you ain't happy? Happy's overrated. I be like, damn.
And
I met a lot of married men.
I think that may be Southern.
A lot of married men. They be like,
that might be the Southern. I don't know if that go in the city.
And they always tell me the same thing.
Listen, with these BBLs, I think that do
but
not.
real quick, they always tell me the
This
same
generation.
thing. I'm like, you not happy? They always say, well, bro, listen, it's cheaper to keep her. They always tell me the same thing.
I heard that.
It's cheaper to keep her.
And the other advice I
They'd rather
got,
stay
which is
unhappy
similar,
than
is
divorce her. And
They-
here's
right.
another thing.
That's
Here's the
crazy.
crazy
I'm
part.
not doing that.
Because a lot of women don't believe. This is one of the things that I think I said that I think is almost foreign when it comes to men. Where women don't believe it. A lot of men also say, I love my kids too much to risk leaving her and losing my children.
Yeah.
A lot of men really do love their kids. I think that's
But
like a stigma that men don't care about their kids that much. They love their kids so much they'll stay
people
unhappy
forget.
versus leaving.
Say that again.
People forget. You get complacent. I think
Yes,
people
ma'am.
forget that you get complacent, and that's on both sides. But
Agreed.
regardless of whether you leave that side of the road and go on the other side, you're still gonna have to put some work into the effort. You're still gonna have to put some work into the relationship. Period.
Facts. I agree.
Wherever you go. So if you think that going from this one here, because now you bored and you want something new and this and this and that, if you think you're gonna hop over there and it's gonna be easier and you
It's
can
not.
come to the table with the same BS or the same complacent attitude that you had and bring that same thing to that relationship, you're gonna have the same problem.
Agreed.
Yes, I'm saying the grass
agree.
might look greener on the other side, but until you get over there and realize those
Yeah,
weeds
right.
need to be
The grass only gonna be green
see,
as long as you water it.
But that's the thing. When men cheat, men and women cheat differently. Men don't cheat to leave.
I don't.
Men don't
I
cheat
don't
to leave.
think-
That's why men have side chicks. Men go have fun and come
Yeah,
home.
but I don't think men and women cheat differently. It depends on what type of women and what type of men that you're dealing with.
I feel like when women cheat, their emotions get into it. Men cheat
It's
physically.
more emotional.
We know too many daggone females that
Men
cheat
cheat
and they got a
differently.
good do at home and they cheat for the same reason that the men cheat. They just bored and want to have fun.
I don't know
Yeah,
a lot of
you-
women like
yeah.
that.
I know a lot of women. Sorry.
I know
I
the
know a lot.
majority of the
Yeah.
women I know, when they cheat, they like that other nigga.
Well, look, we gotta go.
Oh no, yeah, they like them.
They
I'm
like
not
them.
saying they don't like them.
We gotta go. We can't
They'll keep their side
we
piece
can
around
continue
for a
this.
long
We
time.
can
Right.
continue this next week. You know, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is
Hey.
another episode of Let's Talk About It. We learned a little bit about DNA, a little bit about cheating. Hope it was always beneficial in your life.
And
Have a
about
good
being
one.
called black, African color,
Peace out. It was all love.
Nicaraguan, Beijing, Jamaican. We're just human beings.
If he come from my chain and we
All
swap
the
my
above,
chain,
right?
shawty can't look in my eyes. BBS,
I
I
know
shot
a
in the
lot of
dark.
women.
Make my general itch. I'm putting off for my city. Don't need